Hey, everybody. Welcome to Keller Bear Has a Podcast. I'm Michael, and I'm joined by Stacy, Trey, and Sean. So this is something we've done a couple of times since the pandemic started, and we've had so much fun and interesting conversations. We thought, why not just record it and share it with our friends and family? So what this is basically is an appropriation of an appropriation. Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket here in DFW has been doing a segment called Bands of Your Life, where they took an online questionnaire from Facebook and basically have guests answer the questions. So they ripped this off from Facebook, and now we're ripping it off from them. But also, we're going to switch it up a little bit by introducing a new topic each time. But this week, we're going to start with the original topic, which is bands and or musicians. So how's it going, everybody?
I didn't know this was an appropriation of an appropriation.
It is an appropriation of an appropriation.
I feel like I've been lied to by the user.
Yeah.
Oh, you really didn't know that?
I thought it was so creative and original.
No. Yeah. They took it from Facebook. That's how bad they were looking for material for their radio show, was that they just took something from Facebook.
My Nana posted this really fun questionnaire. Let's do it.
That's basically what they did.
Now that you say it, I mean, it very much feels like a Facebook
Oh, it
questionnaire,
is.
which is why I feel so robbed of the joy of it now.
Hey, Sean,
Yes.
are you still mad at me?
Mad at you?
Yeah, Sean and I had a private text message fight earlier.
Not mad at you.
That's okay.
Sean was trying to convince me to not like Martin House.
Wait, why?
And I was refusing.
I was not trying to convince him to dislike Martin House. I was.
Are you tired of Martin House's gimmicks?
I kind of am.
I'll hate Martin House with you. You know I love a good hate list.
Move away and you'll love it. Like, see a bunch of beers. It's like, actually, I would try that if it weren't, 10 hours away. And you'll be like, I can appreciate this.
It's okay. We yelled at each other for a couple of texts, and then we patched it up.
Did you?
I didn't yell. Were you yelling?
No, nobody was yelling.
You know you're going to have a conversation about this after this. Just to make sure that neither of you are really upset.
I was brought up to believe that anytime I disagree with somebody, they hate me. So
anytime you disagree with someone, they hate you.
Yeah. Don't ever disagree with anyone, because now you're fighting.
You know I'm an 8, right?
I know. You're like, disagree with me or I have no respect for you.
I couldn't get through a day if I didn't. I mean, like, if I don't have a disagreement with someone during the day, Becca's in trouble. Because by the time I get home, it's like, I don't care what you say, I'm going to disagree with you.
How did I go this long not knowing that about you?
What?
Not you, Michael. Sorry, I was looking at Michael. You just can't.
Nope.
I didn't know that about you, Michael. That's terrible.
You didn't know what about me?
That you think everyone's fighting with you if you disagree with them.
Feel the same way. For people who weren't taught conflict management, I mean, it's a thing. I mean, it's if people disagree with me, I think they don't like me, or this is a big thing.
The only fight we've ever had, I think.
What?
Sean and I had a fight one time.
This is already
That's
the
a good
best
story.
podcast I've ever been a part of.
About it, it makes me sad.
Who else has been in a fight with Sean?
It might just have been in my head. It's fine. It's fine.
That lady that honked at him that one time, they've been in a fight.
Sean wants us to
little
move
poor
on.
old 78-year-old woman.
Yeah.
She's sitting behind the wheel of her Lincoln Town Car, just trying to get their doctor's appointment.
Straight to hell. She can go straight to hell.
I don't think Sean and I have ever had a fight. Have we ever had a fight?
Not like not a real one, no.
What does that mean? Have we had a fake fight?
You've
A
disagreed,
fake fight?
probably.
No.
I feel like you guys probably have girl fights.
Probably.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I get intimidated easily. I back down easily from any fight. And so I think it goes back to the idea of like if someone disagrees with me, I think they hate me. I value our friendship so much that I don't think I would be terrified to start a fight with you. Because you would disagree with me, and if it got so intense that it became a fight, I would think you hate me, and I don't think I could ever be convinced otherwise.
Oh dear.
If it were an actual fight.
I could never hate you, sir.
Well, I'm glad.
I love all three of you. I could hate you, but I don't.
Wait a second. Let's unpack that. You could.
Bring out his Lisa Frank binder.
Could.
Reasons why.
Speaking of hate,
Nice.
should we jump in?
So yeah, the first item for our bands list. So this can be bands or musicians, correct? I hope so, because that's what I did.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah, it's got to be.
All right. So it's band that you hate, and who's going
Well, those
first?
are the Musers rules, but what are the Facebook rules?
There are no rules on Facebook as we've seen.
Okay, bands we hate.
No, you hate.
Band I hate. I hate Pink Floyd. I hate Pink Floyd so much. Every time it comes on the radio, I know that it's going to be long, and I hate it. I really hate it.
So it's a length thing for you, or
Well, I just don't get. I don't get it. Maybe because I'm not stoned. Is Pink Floyd a band that you have to enjoy whilst stoned? Does anybody like them sober?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever listened to them sober.
So what songs are you thinking of when you think of Pink Floyd? Like what songs come on the radio and then you turn them off?
All of them. All of them. It just starts and I know this is Pink Floyd and I turn it off.
Okay, I wonder how many songs that are not Pink Floyd that you just assume are Pink Floyd and you turn off all the time. Like Stacey, that was Sum 41. That was not Pink Floyd.
Sum 41.
And yes, they
What in
suck.
the world?
What's that rapper who introduces himself in the first 3 seconds of every song so that if you don't
DJ Khaled.
No, and I don't like him either for a lot of reasons. There's another rapper who it's not Little John, but I feel like it's very Little John-esque where
It's not a rapper, but you're talking about Jay's in the room now.
Where he says that it's him in the first couple of seconds, and people are like, "Why do you do that?" And he's like, "Oh, so if you don't like me, turn it off."
So you think Pink Floyd should have done that?
They already do. All of their songs sound the same.
I've never heard it just go like Pink Floyd.
So okay, yeah, no, I like Pink Floyd.
I do too.
I feel very nonchalant towards them, I think.
Maybe if you can send me some under 3 minute Pink Floyd ditties, I might change my mind.
Under 3 minute Pink Floyd song? There's no under 3 minute any songs anymore. I feel like.
3 minutes is kind of short for any musical artist.
I could send you some under 3 minute Jerry and the Pacemakers, but that's about it.
Some beat bugs type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy some beat bugs.
All right. Who's next?
I've seen
sorry.
Pink Floyd in concert and Roger Waters. So
apologize to Sean.
Yeah, so I need to know that you're sorry.
Sean, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry if you think that this is an attack against you.
Oh, okay. Well, so Sean's no longer part of this.
Sean,
Those good apologies. I'm sorry that you feel this way.
It was I'm sorry if it was the worst apology.
Were you
Bye,
not
everybody.
listening about Sean and the not being able to have conflict with people? Jeez, Stacey.
How could you do this to me? Bye, everybody.
You're still there and we know it.
For a second, I really
I'm
thought
not.
you were
I've already
hanging
left. Bye, everybody.
Pink Floyd. What Jenny took me to see Pink Floyd to see Pink Floyd. Well, not actual Pink Floyd, but I went to
Laser
see
Floyd?
Laser Floyd at the planetarium, and it was Jenny and I's second or third date. I think it was our third date.
What is Laser Floyd?
So basically you go to something like the planetarium, and then they do a laser show
With
while
Pink
you
Floyd music.
listen to Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Yes.
And
did the auditorium just reek of pot?
yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
And Jenny, I don't think Jenny understood like that. I don't think she understood that that's what Laser Floyd was. She didn't even, whenever she said what we were doing, I was like, so we're going to go do Laser Floyd. And she goes, what is that? And I was like, that's what we're about to go do. It was awesome though.
It is cool. I've seen it too. It's actually it's just fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And I wasn't high either. I was a kid. I was this freaking kid.
Why have riled you up so much, Sean? This is not attack against you. It's
No, I'm
okay.
just kidding. I actually get it. I actually get it. I do. I really do get it.
It's okay. Mine here in a little bit is about to rile up Stacy. So
I will kill you if you say YouTube.
Wow.
no, what? No, of course not.
Intense.
Then I'll probably be fine.
I don't know. We'll see. Trey.
For a band that you hate, this one was a difficult one just because you think about a lot of bands you don't like, but if you really hate a band, you really don't listen to them. So they're kind of off your radar.
Yeah.
So I was going through several bands, and I finally just asked Becca, is there a band you think that I hate? And without hesitation, she said this one. And when she said it, I was like, oh, you're right. I do hate them. Every single time they come on, it's Florida Georgia Line. Makes my skin crawl. Their music is awful. Neither one of them can sing. Their name is Florida Georgia Line. Every single thing about them is just cringy. It's just gross. The couple times I've been forced to listen to a song, I usually just immediately go take a shower after it's done. Anything to avoid washing Florida Georgia Line off, scrub my ears. Yeah, Florida Georgia Line. I hate them. They're dumb. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of pushback from anyone on this call about hating Florida Georgia Line.
No,
that was in my top 5 as well.
They're dumb and they're gross.
All
They're
good reasons.
Dumb and they're gross.
Yeah.
They somehow made popular country music worse than it already was, which I didn't know was possible. So in some ways it's I guess impressive, but in other ways, in most ways, no, they're awful. They're terrible.
No, man, my nephews love them and like listening to them. So I'm thinking about disowning them if anyone, a couple nephews. Just kidding. I love my nephews. I never did. But they're awful. Florida Georgia Line is terrible. Florida Georgia Line is awful. Not my nephews. Florida Georgia Line. I hate them.
Got it. Trey's nephews are the band that I hate. So that's fine. I'm glad that you left them for me.
They're not good. They have a lot of spirit, but they're just not good live.
Not a good band.
Probably
not a good band.
But were you sober?
Michael, what's the band that you hate?
In general, or all right, Stacy, prepare yourself, okay?
Got it.
All right. So and hate is a strong word, okay? I have a lot of caveats here because I know what you're about to throw at me.
Say them all up front.
But what?
Say all the caveats because I want to know.
Okay. I hate Imagine Dragons.
You hate them?
And here's the thing. This is news to Stacy because I know how much Stacy loves them. And so I've tried at least to not ever say anything negative about Imagine Dragons. And also one time Stacy preached this amazing sermon and used an Imagine Dragons song. And it was a beautiful sermon. It was fantastic. And I also remember sitting there during it going, I'm gonna have to keep this up for a while longer.
Did you know that it's fine if you disagree with me?
No, it's not. It's not. So here's the thing with Imagine Dragons. I know that like they do cool stuff like for the LGBTQ community. I think that is awesome. I love that. But also their music is terrible. And so that's the thing that particularly gets under my skin with them.
Did you listen to like all of it though?
Yes.
Like
Because I've listened to that whole, well, first off, a lot of that music has been shoved down our throats to the point of you can't escape it.
like in sermons.
God, I can't even go to church to escape it.
Seriously, she's doing this one? No, just
With the
kidding. I knew
lightning and the
you were
thunder.
doing it ahead of time. And again, it was a wonderful sermon. I don't want to say anything negative about that sermon because it was very good. But the thing is, Imagine Dragons, they say that their name is an anagram, and they won't tell anyone what the anagram is, which makes me hate them more than I previously did.
What are some guesses?
I don't care. I just hate that they won't say what it is. Don't tell me that your name is an anagram if you're not going to tell me what the anagram is.
Right now, I feel like let's just spend the rest of our time
Trying to figure it
solving
out.
it. Just the rest of our time.
Yes. I'll start. Here we go. Let me Google.
I might.
Okay, can I say this though? The what's the lead singer guy's name?
Dan.
Okay. I
Is that
followed
his
him.
real name?
Yeah.
I followed him. Sorry.
I think.
I think you're right. I followed him on Twitter for a minute and he said some things that I was just like they weren't controversial, they were just really stupid. And I was like, I can't follow him on Twitter because then I'll think less of him as a person.
I searched Imagine Dragons, and the first thing that came up was, why is Imagine Dragons hated?
Their music is very I feel like they don't really have a style either. Like they didn't have a meaning. They were like, this is the style it's gonna be. It was like, I'm gonna write a song and it's gonna be like this, and then it's gonna be like nothing. It's not cohesive. Is that the right?
This is interesting. It says critics hate them not because they're popular, but because they were meant to be the new voice of rock, but ended up sounding like sellouts.
Amigos
So-
in Danger.
Tough. Amigos in Danger.
Ginger is a nomad.
No.
Wait, how?
Egg Rain Domains.
Say that one again.
Egg Rain Domains.
It's definitely not that one.
Yeah. Rating Mangoes.
Oh, that's a good name for a band in
Yeah.
general. Rating Mangoes.
That is a good one. Yeah, that's all I can see right now.
Amigos in Danger because they used to be Mormons.
I like Amigos in Danger. That's a good one.
That is good too, yeah.
You're making me not like Imagine Dragons.
Good.
I'm gonna like their music, but not their people.
I'm gonna like their
I
people,
felt-
but not their music.
So I think their people are actually pretty
I'm
good.
sorry. Your wife just texted me, and it just really distracted me. I don't even know what I was saying.
Whose wife?
You, Michael, your wife, Jenny. Her name's Jenny. I'm gonna take my watch off so it doesn't distract me again.
All right. Anyway, that's enough of Imagine Dragons.
Sean, what band do you hate?
I just want to talk about dragons all night now. Damn it!
Maybe they'll come back up
Done.
again.
I don't think it's any secret that I hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
I hate this
Unfortunate.
so much. I want everyone to like the Eagles, and we have this "I hate the Eagles" debate. Like I don't even know how many times we've had it.
We do.
Many times.
Yeah, so many times.
Yeah, they're one of the top selling bands of all time. That's cool.
That's fine. I still hate them.
Do you like them, Trey?
I do like the Eagles quite a bit. Yeah. They do not appear on my list, but I appreciate them.
I don't hate the Eagles. I don't love the Eagles.
I guess I don't either since they're
I'm
not
fine
on my
with the
love.
Eagles.
Well, just to re-answer my question, I hate the Eagles.
Okay. Why do you hate the Eagles, though?
I think they are so overrated that they don't need to be the answer to question 2. But I think it's both that I really just I don't think that they sing anything interesting. I don't think their lyrics are great. I don't think they sing anything interesting. And then just based on stories about who they are as people, I really hate them.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of that might just be I know a lot of that might just be apocryphal. Is that the right word? Or whatever. But
Sean, just say it. You're happy that Glenn Fry is dead.
I can't believe, Sean, you just said that.
Sean said it. He texted it to me because he didn't want to put it out there.
So Hotel California, that's not like those lyrics aren't like that song unnerves me. And that's, I think, why I like it, because I find it to be a very unnerving song.
Yeah, I can understand that it's like creepy, but that's not enough for me to like it.
Yeah.
It's not intriguing to me.
Yeah. You're right.
It's a great song.
Yeah, I got a 2-year-old here trying to join in the conversation.
She's like, I like the Eagles.
She's got some pretty hot Eagles opinions. She also likes parrots and owls and butterflies.
I've never listened to them.
Owls are no.
That's weird. That's a weird take that you just like ran with that.
I want to know why owls?
They're bad omens.
Are they?
Huh?
Why are they bad omens?
I've never talked to you about owls.
No. The fact that that's shocking is even more shocking.
Hey, have I never talked to you about owls? Let me talk to you about owls.
They're just bad. They're bad omens.
Okay.
They tell you like when people are gonna die. Like, I'm not even kidding.
They kill people.
Bro, they don't kill them. They just tell you that.
No, they do.
People?
What?
Yeah. Look into
just making groundless claims.
So no. Look into this is, man, we're going way off base here, but look into the documentary. It's a true crime documentary called The Staircase. Now, this has nothing to do with what's in that documentary, but if you watch that documentary and then go outside of that documentary and you find out, if you look in the right places, that it turns out that this man did not, in fact, kill his wife, that in fact, she was killed by an owl.
The Staircase.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to need to check that out.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Netflix.
Yeah, I've seen it. She was killed by an owl.
Yeah, she was killed by an owl. No, it's not in the documentary.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's something that I was like, man, this case is interesting. And so I started looking up more about it. And there's like a huge contingency of like true crime people, like investigators and stuff, who like legitimately think that she was killed by an owl.
Oh, okay. So when you said a minute ago, she was killed by an owl, it's people online saying, we're really sure she was killed by an owl.
Yes, but they're so convincing that I believe it 100%.
You 100% made me feel like that documentary ends with, barn owl just swooped down and like cut her jugular. She's dead.
Can't believe that it's not in the documentary because it's amazing. They keep showing owls too.
Is there like places where owls are murdering people?
So what their theory
clearly
is
in this
that,
woman's hometown,
like, the owl got caught in her hair. And then just started like
wait, I've heard this. It's not in the documentary. I've heard this.
Well, because I sent it to you after you watched the documentary.
There we go. That's
I was like, Sean, check this stuff out, man.
It was owls. It was owls.
It was owls. Yes.
Disconcerting. I really like owls.
Is that an anagram for Imagine Dragon? It was out. No, it wasn't.
It was owls.
It was owls. That's not one.
Nope.
2 nights in a row, I was woken up out of a dead sleep because of owls tooting.
Tooting?
Owls tooting? Tooting?
Hooting.
Oh,
it still sounds like you're saying tooting.
Yeah, it did sound like that.
It really did.
I was woken up by owls tooting.
Owls tooting.
Like, what does that sound like?
Damn owl farts were.
Why are they
keeping
so
me awake.
loud?
Oh man.
And what are they eating?
Okay. I don't know.
All right, Stacy. band that you think is overrated?
Oh, Maroon 5. I think they're super overrated. I think that what's his name's voice is just horrific, and he should not.
That
It's so
Agreed.
bad. I hate, what is that called? Falsetto?
Nope.
no, it just.
I mean, he does sing in that sometimes.
just a bad
He does sing in
voice.
falsetto sometimes. But
That's
it's mostly super nasal.
Yeah.
yes, that it just drives me nuts.
He
like-
he sounds singing. He sounds like I talk, singing, like a Muppet.
I don't think you sound like a Muppet, but
I don't think he
I
sounds
really
like a Muppet.
liked Maroon 5 when they first came out. I was really
did
into
too.
songs about Jane, and but it got old quickly.
Yeah.
I was good with that one, and then I was like, oh, we're just gonna keep doing this then. All right.
Well, no, it's like it got worse. Like they jumped on being a pop band so fast. Like
Yeah, they had kind of a funk thing going almost, like a real like jazzy kind of funk thing going originally that made it really complex. They had a lot of complexity starting out, and then I think you're right. I think they just leaned heavily into the pop, easily digestible, and it
Yeah.
shifted.
Paint by
I've seen them
numbers.
once live. I've seen them once live. It was way before they were big. They were openers for John Mayer.
Sounds
And
about right.
from the moment Adam Lambert opened his voice and sang, I immediately declared, this guy's never going to make it.
Not
I
Adam
was-
Lambert. It's at Adam.
Adam Levine.
Levine.
That's it. Adam Levine. There
Adam
you go.
Levine. Adam Lambert is the new
Queen.
Freddie Mercury.
oh,
No, it's the Filipino guy Adam Lambert sings for a different one.
Oh,
No, the Filipino guy sings for Journey.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we're just getting them all messed up.
Adam Lambert.
yeah.
Adam
Yes.
Lambert sings for a Filipino Queen band, and there's a Filipino guy that sings for an American Journey cover.
And his name's
band.
like Anel Pineda or something like that.
Only
Who is the
singing
new
Dragon songs.
who is
The new Adam Lambert.
Steve Perry. Nope. Anyway, I
covers
I
John
thought-
Mayer.
Makes sense. Think about it.
Anyway, yes, Maroon 5. Totally overrated.
So what's the word for that high singing thing that he does?
That's falsetto. You were right.
Okay. I just want to make sure
Yeah,
that I'm
he sings in falsetto sometimes.
He does, but
No.
you're right. His voice is grating. Yeah, he does get a real nasally. Like even when he's not singing falsetto, he gets real nasally and grating. I get it.
just makes me a little
I'm-
itchy.
Trying to think of their like first big hit, but I can't think of it. It's not.
And
It's
she
like
will
6
be
different
loved.
songs. It's
Oh
like-
no.
It's like a
Just
Maroon
Love.
5, a Queen, and a Journey song are all swirling in my head right now. And it's just an amalgamation of terrible.
That their first CD was it Songs About Jane? Is that what you said?
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was in
It
like
was.
the 90s, early 2000s.
Harder
like
to
that.
Breathe, She Will Be Loved.
Yeah.
Those songs.
This Love.
I was into those.
Yeah, me too.
It's like the more recent stuff, but
She Will Be Loved was good. I couldn't get into Harder to Breathe.
Is there anyone out there? 'Cause it's getting-
Maroon 5 is a good answer. Mine is so overrated doesn't mean you hate them.
Right.
It
ha-
just
doesn't
means
have
you
to be.
don't. Yeah, it just means like I don't get it, and that's at least how I took it. So for me, the band that I think is most overrated in all time is Led Zeppelin, because there's this like weird cult like obsession, like sort of, Robert Plant's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to rock music, which is very wrong sort of thing. It's just like, I get it. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying Stairway to Heaven's not a great song. I'm saying that like I pull them up on Spotify, it shows you the top 5 songs. And I'm like, 1 and 2 are good. And 3 is not. And 4 is awful. And I hate everything else on here. It's just like, so they make some good songs, but I don't really get the whole like freaking Led Zeppelin's the greatest rock band of the 20th century kind of thing that some people feel. So I just find them to be a little blown out of proportion. I don't quite get it with them.
Make him get it, Michael. Make him get it.
And Becca thinks I'm crazy, for the record. She told me I'm crazy.
Becca is correct.
Becca is correct.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
I think it's just the collaborative genius of those guys, of John Paul Jones and John Bonham and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I mean, each one of them. I mean, John Paul Jones. I can't tell you much about John Paul Jones, but the other three guys are pretty iconic just in their own right. Like, I can't tell you how badly I wish that I could have seen John Bonham play drums. But then I think, I mean, I saw Jimmy Page and Robert Plant in concert. They toured just the two of them for a while. John Paul Jones again got kind of left out. But they're amazing. But
I forgot him.
But I didn't really like appreciate Jimmy Page until I watched It Might Get Loud, that documentary with him and Jack White and The Edge, and he I mean, I think he really is a musical genius. But the truth is, you don't see a lot of that in Led Zeppelin. I think you really have, like, for Jimmy Page alone, you have to kind of look at his whole career with the Byrds and then his solo stuff that he did later. But I disagree. I'll leave it at that.
That's okay. I think this, more than any of the other categories, really is, well, and maybe the next one, underappreciated, are the most sort of like ambiguously custom tailored to individuals. Because it's, again, I'm not saying Led Zeppelin's bad. I'm just saying
I think
that's
you're
great.
right.
They speak to you like that. They don't speak to me like that. And so I don't understand the wildness.
Yeah. And I think I struggled with this question probably more than any other because of that ambiguity, that it's so subjective, but it's also, that question can be taken in a wide span.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you a band that I absolutely love, but if I don't think that, I think that they're overappreciated by the masses, then I could say the Beatles, and I could probably justify that. But anyway,
it's weird because I think the Beatles are underappreciated, wildly underappreciated.
How? I agree, but how?
Yes, but also, Michael, what band do you think is overrated?
I think Lady Gaga is overrated.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga. I don't get it. It's kind of like what Trey said with Led Zeppelin. I don't get it. I get that she sounds like I get that her music sounds like Madonna. And I like literally some songs almost it's the exact same song. But the thing that I really don't get about her, and this happens like every time she does anything, like after she did the inauguration, man, everybody just talks about like how great her voice is, and I don't like her voice. Like when I hear her voice, my first inclination is to turn the volume down, because I'm just like, this is too much. I feel like you are screaming at me. And I feel like people have gotten into the habit of judging singers by how loud they can be and somewhat stay on note. And that means they're good. And I just don't, I'm not a fan. Her voice.
After the inauguration, everyone was just like gushing on social media. And I was like, did I watch something else? I mean, is there a delay? And that was like the second take that I watched, or what happened? Because I was very much underwhelmed by how she sang the national anthem.
It's so hard to sing outside, though, you guys.
I thought she sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl last year. Is that right?
Last year or the year? Yeah,
a couple years ago.
I thought that was phenomenal.
she was incredible.
Yes, and I
So-
thought that was much better.
When they announced her for the Super Bowl or for the inauguration, I was excited because I think she can be very good.
Yeah.
There was actually at the Grammy Awards probably about like 7-8 years ago. She opened it. It was I can't remember what song it was, but she opened it just by sitting down at the piano. She was dressed like Joe, her like male counter ego that she does sometimes in her shows, and she just down at the piano started playing and singing, and it was incredible. It was, I mean, she's got a lot of natural gifts and talents. But then, like she so often does, I don't know, she like put on a meat dress or something like that, and it's like, okay, well now you're masquerading in taking away from the talent. The more you have to do that, I feel like the less it's about your actual musical talent.
I will say that like her, so like A Star Is Born, which if we're talking about overrated movies, I think is a very overrated movie. But like A Star Is Born, that song that one of the songs that she does, I think she did it at the Oscars that year with Bradley Cooper.
Shallows.
Yeah. So like that song starts out and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. She does have a pretty voice because it's down, like she's being soft with it.
Soulful.
But then there's a point, it's like where she just has to start screaming. And that's when it's just like, I can't do this anymore. And so, yeah.
Also, yes, a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Very.
I've never seen it either.
I just know that
A lot of
that,
dangerous red flags going on in that movie.
Jason Isbell wrote that one song, and that's all I know about it.
It's not good, but people love it, and I don't. Jenny and I literally
glorifies.
Yes, it does. It glorifies something that you shouldn't glorify, but also
toxicity.
Jenny and I were laughing throughout it because if you've seen Walk Hard, it hit so many Walk Hard beats that are just, and like it does it in a way that is so unaware of how dumb it's being.
Well, now I really want to watch it.
I mean, there's almost literally a part where just a guy runs in and is just like, Lady Gaga, you have now have 5 singles on the charts and you're winning all these awards. And it's just like, wait, what happened? I mean, it's like Walk Hard in the sense of like, okay, now the beat is this, she's the best. And everybody, it's just terrible. And Jenny and I legitimately were cracking up laughing at points in the movie. And then like surrounded by people who were just like, wasn't it so wonderful and powerful? And it's like, no.
You don't want to say this, do we?
Because her character's name in the movie is Lady Gaga.
I know, and I thought that was strange too.
Just a little.
Why
weird.
would you do that?
Gaga.
It's an odd choice.
Wait, for real?
No.
No, not even slightly. Not even kind of.
You don't want none of this, Lady Gaga.
Sean, what is the band you think is overrated?
The one of the other people that sang at the inauguration, Garth Brooks.
Oh man.
Listen, I get it.
Classic 90s country.
I was a big fan.
Thank you for knowing
I had
that.
to sing Friends in Low Places for a band that a trash can band that I toured with for a while. And
I want to hear more about that.
No, we don't have to talk about that. But
it's on my list later.
I was really into I was really into Garth Brooks. I honestly, Garth Brooks was my like introduction into country when I was growing up, because it was frankly a rebellion against, really, I mean, like my dad was really into rock and was kind of starting to get into metal and stuff like that. And so I was like, well, I'm going to listen to country. And so I listened to Garth Brooks and I was into it. But he's overrated. He's not great. And
don't tell him that.
Yeah, exactly.
But what do you think about Chris Gaines?
Not as bad.
He's band that I love. So.
Oh, well, that's the end, I guess.
We'll get there.
Can we talk?
Why do you ask? They're completely different bands. I don't.
I'm pretty sure Sean knows. I'm pretty sure Sean knows what I'm talking about. But have y'all seen that interview he did? I don't remember who it was with, like Katie Couric or somebody, but she was like, she started off a question. She goes, so you have, and I don't know how many kids he has, but she was like, so you have 2 kids named so and so and so and so. And Garth Brooks goes, thank you for knowing that. Thank you for knowing that.
Stupid. So
I like to imagine a world where Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks got married, and then like 2 weeks in, he like comes out of the closet dressed as Chris Gaines to go on tour. And she's like, "What the hell?" Like no idea. Yeah, this alter ego.
This is me on Thursdays.
Is that who he's married to? Is it Trisha Yearwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
She has a cooking show.
Thank you for knowing that.
No.
Stop.
The whole like taking the hat off and putting it back on and take it like at the inauguration. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was, oh God.
And
that's another thing.
Single-handedly super spreading by shaking hands with literally everyone.
Everyone.
Hey,
Garth Brooks, Super Spreader.
President.
That'll be the name of his next album, Super Spreader.
Actually, that'd be a pretty good album.
That actually doesn't sound too bad.
Super Spreader.
Got to be Chris Gaines though. That can't be a Garth.
Yeah. But he'll still be overly like humble about it. Like he just can't believe the musers are spot on. He can't believe that the fans are just so kind.
Yeah. They talk on the musers. They talk about him coming out at his concerts and just acting like, I didn't know that this many people were here for me.
There's
like
no
looking
way.
around like, I just can't even believe it.
There's just no way this many people listen to my music.
Just the false sincerity of Garth Brooks.
This the
what
first
if it's
of a 2-night.
It may not be. It may not be.
What if it's not false? What if he's walking out there thinking, I agree with Sean. I am massively overrated. What are you people doing listening to this music?
That would be endearing.
Chris Gaines is so much better. You got to imagine if he's just like, if I could only be Chris Gaines, but they don't like me as Chris Gaines.
Was that like a one-time thing? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His
sad.
sketch with Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live wasn't terrible, but that was because of Will Ferrell. Where he was like with the devil. Will Ferrell was the devil, and he was trying to get a song from him.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell was terrible. It was where Fred's got slacks.
Yeah.
Oh, Fred's got slacks. Hey, that's. You know what? I'll write my own. It's fine. That's a great sketch. But again, Will Ferrell, not Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is overrated.
Yeah. All right, Stacey. Band that you think is underappreciated.
Oh, I was going to answer the wrong one.
Well, you're welcome.
Imagine Dragons.
I don't even like them that much. Just didn't have to preach a sermon on. The Dead South. Have y'all ever heard of them? Okay.
Did y'all ever heard of them?
No, I've never heard of the Dead South. That's a cool name though.
It is a cool name.
It is. I texted y'all about this, but sometimes I think you don't read my text when I.
Oh no, we've heard of it. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's the one this is the one you texted about.
The one
right?
that you texted us.
Is this the one you texted about?
Was it before or after Indigenous Screaming Cat? Because I remember both of those things.
I only text Indigenous Screaming Cat when I'm mad. So no. Okay, so this
I said before or after. So no.
You're about to text it to us, aren't you?
It was on, oh my God, now I can't remember the name of the show. What's the name of it?
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. Remember
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Academy?
Because I remember the text.
Thank you. I was texting you guys at least every other episode. Michael, I can see you.
I forget sometimes.
This is why, because I texted you like every other episode the thing that I liked. And I know that if I text you more than 2 times in a day that you're going to stop reading my texts.
Maybe.
Okay. One of them was about the Dead South. Y'all, they're really good. They're really good. They're from Canada, but don't let that deter you. They're really good.
Are they from Southern
Apologies
Canada?
to all of our
Canadian listeners.
apologies to all of our Canadian listeners.
Well, okay, here's the reason. I don't know if you know this about me, but I hate CCR because they sing about the South, but they're not from the South, and that really pisses me off. And this.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're from like California or something.
Yeah, they're from California.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
kind
I
of
mean-
disappointing.
It's a kind of a bummer, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It like
Yeah, I
really
didn't know that.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Dead South is very like they're very like Mumfordy, like
So folksy.
I didn't say that because
So-
I don't think that's the right word. You've explained this to me before, and that's not the right word. But
Well, it depends on what folk music actually is in Canada. I don't know. So
I don't know.
Do they sing a lot about Tim Hortons and
It's a lot of whiskey,
hockey?
a lot of women, like sex, booze, and
Donuts.
sex, booze, and donuts.
Donuts.
like y'all would.
Donuts on the hose.
This is kind of a weird question because it's like, are they underappreciated because you don't know about them, or
Yeah, I think that would clarify as underappreciated.
seriously,
Well, I
write it down.
The
They're
Dead South.
Dead South. Text us about it. I promise
really
I'll read
like-
it this time.
I really liked that show, so I trust you.
You didn't answer my question though. Are they from the South in Canada?
I read Canada and stopped reading.
Okay.
Again, apologies to our Canadian listeners.
Understood. I mean, it's a very small country, so
We'll talk
I
about
understand.
Canada. I have Canada later on my list, so it's gonna be fine.
the country?
No, but they're Pride and Joy.
Robin
Full-
Sparkles.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Oh, they're from Saskatchewan.
Is that South?
You should.
Is
I
that
don't think
Southern
there is like a
Canada?
South. I think they
One
moved
more
east
time.
to west.
Apologies to.
Do they really?
The provinces moved like mostly east to west. They just kind of keep going up forever, I think. Don't they?
Sure.
I know surprisingly little about Canadian geography.
Not surprising.
I don't feel like that's surprising.
It's really good though.
Okay.
It's so good.
The Dead South.
Dead South.
South, so good.
Folk
Great.
bluegrass is what it says. Folk bluegrass musical ensemble.
Yeah, like I thought they were from Kentucky. That good. And then I learned they were Canadian, but I didn't
Fair
get
enough.
mad.
Band that I think is underappreciated. This is the wrong audience for this because he's very appreciated in this circle. But I think most people, and I've said this before, and maybe it's wildly over exaggerative, but I fully believe that if Bob Dylan had never lived, he would be more appreciated and more known because of his lyrical style. But Josh Ritter, I think, is wildly underappreciated. One of the best lyricists, I think, of the last 50 years of music, and easily, by far and away, the most joyful performer I've ever seen in any medium whatsoever. Just radiates joy on stage, and more people should know him and listen to his music.
Yep. I will just start reading Josh Ritter lyrics to people randomly, and I don't think anyone likes it when I do that, but I can't help myself sometimes. But yes, his lyrics are amazing, and he is amazing. Like he is my favorite musician, my favorite songwriter, my favorite all of that. And he'll come up later in this thing. But the dude also writes novels. He has a novel that he wrote. He has another one coming out soon. He paints, and I think they're pretty good. I don't know a lot about painting, obviously, but I really like his paintings too. So, he's awesome. One time, Sean and I were talking about Josh Ritter, and I think we were trying to get Stacy. We think we were trying to get you to listen to Josh Ritter, and you said, "Oh, I don't really listen to a lot of Christian music."
Oh,
Oh, that was not me.
It was, I swear, because I was like,
Josh
he's
Ritter
not Christian music, huh?
It's Josh Ritter from yoga.
What?
So there was
You did yoga with Josh Ritter?
yeah. So
are you thinking of John Ritter? That's
no,
He did yoga.
Oh,
did yoga.
Did yoga.
dead.
Oh, it was playing during the like last part of my yoga. Like one of my yoga teachers played Josh Ritter a lot.
This was before that.
I liked it. No, I did yoga before I knew you because when I found out you guys like Josh Ritter, I was like, oh, you like the yoga guy.
No, that's not correct.
You really?
I swear to you, we said it at your house. We were at your house. We were upstairs. It was your last house. We were upstairs, and I started speaking of reading lyrics. I started reading, getting ready to get down to you. And I guess just because it mentions Jesus in it or something, you were like, "Oh, I don't really listen to a lot of Christian music." And I was like, I don't think she was listening.
Is this the night we ate prime rib that I made?
She heard Bible college in Missouri and was turned off. Right?
Yeah, she's out.
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
did we eat prime rib? Because if it is, I take no.
What does prime rib do to you?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I thought I was sharing a bottle of wine with Jenny, and turns out I was sharing a bottle of wine with no one. And I drank the entire bottle by myself.
Jeez.
And I take no ownership over a single thing I said that night, which probably is why I don't remember this conversation at all.
Possibly. I don't know. It may have been that night. I don't know.
I'm just going to say that it was.
Okay.
But I know Josh Ritter from
Yoga.
Yeah.
From Three's Company.
From y'all.
Yeah.
But okay.
Josh Ritter is the total package, because his
Lex Luger is the total package, but I understand what you mean.
Luger?
I thought you were going to
Yes.
say Jeremy.
Lex Luger, wrestler Lex Luger. No, but because lyrically he's unbelievable. We've already mentioned that. But musically, his creativity is impressive. There aren't a lot of artists where you listen to instrumental versions of their music and they're just as intriguing as their versions with lyrics. I mean, there were he had a few instrumental versions of his songs released for that movie. Is it The Hollers?
The Hollers or the Hollows?
Hollers.
I think the Hollers, yeah.
Yeah, Hollers. And that's I love is it Girl in the War? The instrumental version of Girl in the War, I think that's on that one.
There's a few. I don't remember them off the top of my head.
I love to just that's it's perfect, just chill music. But you add lyrics and it's doubly good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the Josh Ritter album that I have. That's the yoga one. It's almost like I need a receipt. Like, is iTunes going to tell me when I bought this? No.
What would be good for yoga music? Michael, what song would you use for yoga music?
With Josh Ritter, I mean,
he doesn't really use
maybe something from So Runs the World Away, like on the back end of that album. Yeah, that's So Runs the World Away.
Oh, Change of Time.
That's the one. That's the one that oh my gosh, I loved it so much.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Sorry.
All right, band that I think is underappreciated, and you guys already spoiled this one for me, and we don't have to dwell on it for a while, but I am going with the Beatles. Because of this. People still...
I was only half joking.
Well, I know. But people still try and... A lot of people still try and have like the hot sports opinion about the Beatles in the sense of like, oh, I'm gonna figure out rhetorically how to take down the Beatles. I'm gonna be the one guy. and it's just like you can't do it. And I've heard ridiculous things from people. And the thing is like, even the reason why I'd have to say that they're underappreciated is because even I, as a how old am I? 36. Am I 36?
All right, you're 36. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I, as a 36-year-old man, like there are things that even I don't understand about what the Beatles did, because I was not alive at that time. And so even I underappreciate the Beatles in terms of like their effect on what music came to be known as. And so, yeah, I think the Beatles are underappreciated, even by me.
Were you allowed to listen to the Beatles when you were a kid?
Yes.
I was not allowed. That was not okay. Trey, were you allowed to listen to the Beatles?
I was not either, and it was not a lack of appreciation for their music. It's because my grandfather was in the army during Vietnam, and they were vehemently opposed, and so he taught my mom to hate them, who taught me to not hate them, but they were not okay because they spoke out against what my grandfather did, basically.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, it's like, well, they should have, because we never should have been in the war. My feelings about them being underappreciated are more geared towards their two pop, like not the Beatles, but Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison independently be transcended their popularity even beyond that. So that when people are like, oh yeah, I love the Beatles, Maybe I'm Amazed is one of my favorites, or like Band on the Run is great. It's like, well, neither one of those are Beatles songs. They're Beatles adjacent. But I mean, that's my thing. It's like their individual popularity blew up so much that anything any of them do, they just trace it back. They think, oh, it's associated with the Beatles. And it's like, well, I mean, they have a lot of great things they did individually, but I just happen to personally believe that Eleanor Rigby is the greatest song of the 20th century. And I feel like it left people think about, like, Maybe I'm Amazed, or even like big things like Let It Be, Hey Jude, which are incredible songs, but like Eleanor Rigby and Paperback Writer are two incredible songs that aren't fully appreciated as much as I think they should be.
Not only that, but you think about their producer credits that they had beyond that. I mean, Paul McCartney and George Harrison produced Badfinger songs, which ended up being, I mean, like that could have been an extension of the Beatles, honestly. A lot of this stuff that they did was so very heavily influenced, clearly. So, I mean, the ripple effect alone cannot be quantified. And so I can totally agree and see what your perspective.
And just the way that, like, I don't think we've ever had anything like the Beatles since, in the term, in the way that kind of Trey is talking about, in the sense that, like, you had three guys who had really no business being in a band. Like, they were three guys who were so stinking good, they should have just been by themselves. And it's amazing that they lasted for so long as a band.
I really, really hope Ringo Starr does not become a fan of this.
And Ringo was there too.
We very clearly just kept talking about three people. But it's like 5 years ago when Paul McCartney and Kanye did a song on the Grammys, and there was a viral thing of people saying, yeah, it's really nice of Kanye to help this old guy out. It's like, well, no, I mean, that's one of the two greatest songwriters of the past 100 years.
Underappreciated.
I'm pretty sure that Imagine Dragons covered Revolution.
Probably.
For that anniversary of their appearance on Ed Sullivan.
Revolution.
It wasn't awful. They covered the slower They covered the slower version though, which
why?
I don't know.
Why do
they did it acoustic? It was like acoustic bass and a couple of acoustic guitars.
All right.
It was fine. But anyway.
It was fine for Amigos in Disgrace. Was that what it was? Sean, what band do you think is underappreciated?
I'm gonna cheat. And I'm gonna say that the band that I think is underappreciated is any black artist that was around during Elvis's time or previous to Elvis, because certainly they deserve all of the accolades that Elvis got and more so. And I can't stand Elvis. So you can put Elvis down for my first two answers as well, actually, while we're at it. I am not an Elvis fan. I am not. I can't stand Elvis. And that is there are people that have gotten angry with me for having that opinion. And I'm sorry. I don't. I think there are a lot of people that get, I mean, honestly, if you just want to look at Christians, they get caught up in his hymns, his versions of the hymns, and whatever.
Well, and
I don't care.
And some he would sing like the spirituals too. Speaking of black, appropriation, black culture and all that, and but suddenly it was coming out of a white man's mouth, and so it was okay to listen to and think it was awesome.
So I mean, just on multiple levels, I can't stand the man. But that's kind of I kind of want to just lump in really any black artist from his era or before, anything that he appropriated.
But do you like the movies?
What's that?
Go ahead, Trey.
I was just saying, and the many that he employed to stand in the background and paid them pennies on the dollar, so that he could stand in the front and just sing while they were making the actual music in the background. No, I don't love any of his movies. I don't know how Sean feels about it. I don't know if I've ever seen an Elvis movie from beginning to end.
Never.
I can think of scenes, but I don't think I've ever entire.
I feel like he's in Hawaii a lot. Just like hiking mountainous, like there's like mountain lines and stuff, but he's somehow in Hawaii still.
I can't imagine he was a good actor, but that's just me.
I just completely forgot about something that I literally just remembered. I served at this church in the country, and they had these community potlucks every other week or something, but once a month they would bring in entertainment, and they brought in this Elvis impersonator. You know how I'm not good at keeping a face when I'm not amused?
Rager.
I was so uncomfortable by this situation, and at one point you know how Elvis throws out thing, I don't know, he was throwing out things
like flowers and roses, and
he came to sing right in front of me, and I was very uncomfortable and was doing that situation the whole time. It was really bad.
I didn't know he threw things out.
What?
Sorry, go ahead, Trey. What?
No, it's not important. I was saying I didn't know he threw things.
The adoration is so uncomfortable, it extends to impersonators. The accolades extend to impersonators. He's so beloved, and I just don't get it. I mean,
it's a whole thing in Vegas. People make tons of money off just walking around looking like him in Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
Didn't look anything like Elvis, y'all, nothing. And
a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
Spandex jumpsuit. It was so uncomfortable. Dustin literally got up, left me, and went and sat in a corner. Elvis
when I was
all up on me, and Dustin's in a corner pretending that I'm not his wife.
When I was touring with a trash can band, which
I want to hear more about that.
We don't need to talk about it. When I was through that, we were playing a state fair somewhere, and there was an Elvis impersonator on our same stage, and so we would have these rotations, and the older women in the crowd treated an Elvis impersonator as if that person were Elvis.
Yes.
And it haunts me to this day.
Weird.
Wakes up just having cold sweats.
Right.
Gross. If you
It ruined music for me.
Crystal wakes up. The Elvis dream again. It's okay, I'm here.
Is it the impersonator? He can't hurt you anymore. He's still in Iowa.
Bubba Hotep is great though. Have y'all seen Bubba Hotep? Sean, have I never made you watch Bubba Hotep?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
Bubba Hotep is a movie about all I'm going to say is this. The plot is that Elvis, who is still alive and in a nursing home, and JFK fight a mummy that is attacking the nursing home. And it's a great, great, great classic of film.
listen, I would be totally into watching that. Instead, you make me watch a bear documentary.
Grizzly Man is one of the greatest documentaries ever made.
That was an excellent documentary.
It was an excellent documentary.
I was very grateful you turned me on to that.
Why are you down on Grizzly Man all of a sudden?
All of a sudden?
Why don't you save that for our documentaries of your life podcast episode?
Oh, that'd be a good one, actually.
It would.
Yeah, it might be actually.
Stacey, you still need to watch The Human Centipede. You haven't
Nope.
gotten back to me on that one.
I will not. But you know what? Every time I feel like really insecure, I look at that DVD and I'm like, I have friends that love me. And that's not a joke. That's a truth.
And ironically, that's the theme of the movie.
Some people like friendship rockets or something. I have The Human Centipede on DVD.
Oh no. Yeah, add that on DVD. I have The Human Centipede.
But I want to actually, let's point out one thing. The band that I think is underappreciated is any artist that was in Elvis's era or before him or really after him. And we ended up talking about Elvis for like 10 minutes. So
there's the problem.
There's your problem. Fats Domino, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley. I mean, those are just to name a few.
Muddy Waters.
Yeah, let's just clarify here.
Robert Johnson.
Yes. Anyway, so I just needed to wrap that up.
Sorry, we hijacked your thing with all of our.
No. Listen, hey, my hatred for Elvis knows no bounds.
Runs deep.
It does run deep.
Stacey, what's the band you can listen to over and over again?
I actually had a band in mind, and then Dustin and I went to Dallas the other day. Changed it because I listened to Welcome to Nellyville over and over and danced and sang the songs, and it was so much fun, and I think I picked Nelly.
Oh, Nelly. Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying there was a band called Welcome to Nellyville.
No, that would be weird. No, like
they opened for Old South.
I think that's the Pancake House.
What was the name? Wait, what was the name of the band? It wasn't
Dead
Old South. Dead South.
Old South is the Pancake House.
I ruined it. Yeah, sorry.
No, you didn't ruin it. You made it way better.
Just goes to prove that y'all do not take my recommendation seriously.
The Pancake House?
I was gonna lolook it up later.
They just have like a stage off to the side, or I've never seen it before.
Sorry, Stacey, I interrupted. I apologize. Nelly.
Totally fine, Nelly. We listened to it. We had the best time. We were like dancing in the car. Don't you feel like these things are just based on your mood? Like your mood in the moment of what you really could listen to over and over again?
Yeah.
Not this category. I don't feel like that. That's why I'm like, I like Nelly and I could listen to Nelly. But after about 45 minutes, I'm like, no, I'm good for another couple months.
No, we were just like, it was the best thing ever. I loved it. Just over and over again.
Nelly's good.
What is your favorite Nelly song?
Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Force One. Right.
Like actually, Dustin and I were talking about how I used to only wear shell-toe Adidas. Y'all know this about me. So I did only Converse for a long time and like different colors and stuff. And then it was only shell-toe Adidas, and I had them in a million different colors. I don't know why I stopped wearing them. I think I want to bring that back. Are you allowed to wear shell-toe Adidas when you're not Run DMC and you're 36?
Yes.
You can wear whatever you want.
Fair.
You can wear whatever you like. Yeah, you can wear whatever you like. My listen to over and over again.
Wait, was that a T.I. reference? You can't do a T.I. reference and just ignore it and let that go. You did a freaking
no one was
T.I.
catching
reference.
on. I thought it just completely plummeted. Like I was like, oh, I don't think anyone understands what I'm saying.
Does anybody get a T.I. reference immediately?
I got a T.I. reference immediately, and I thought somebody else would do it. But no, you referenced star of Ant-Man, T.I., and no one else mentioned.
He wasn't Ant-Man.
He was in it.
Pretty good, too.
He was good. He was good in that.
I've not seen it.
I cannot believe that you just referenced T.I.
The band that I can listen to over and over again is T.I. No, the band I can listen to over and over again is the Beatles. That's why I say this category is not a mood to me.
Yeah.
They are such incredible musicians. Three of the greatest musical minds that we will probably ever know got together and they found a couple of drummers at different times, and they wrote just incredible music that fits any mood, that transcends a variety of genres and decades. And there's always something of theirs that I can listen to. And even if there is like a song I'm getting tired of, I can just switch to a different album. I can switch to a different time. I can listen to their solo individual stuff, and I'm never, ever tired of anything. More than anything, Paul McCartney, it is well documented that I'm a Paul apologist. Ego be damned. I don't care. He's
You're
remarkable.
in good company. You're fine. You're good. This is safe. This is a safe space.
And I never get tired of listening to them.
Again, our apologies to Sir Richard Starkey. I know Trey doesn't appreciate your musical genius as one of the most iconic and tempo perfect drummers in history. However, I would say 4 musical geniuses, whereas Trey would just say 3.
I'm not the only one who said 3. Okay, actually, Michael said 3 first. Actually, interesting. I don't know if he owns a home or if he just stays here once every year or two, but Ringo Starr, one of his best friends, lives in Mobile. And they apparently have a house on Dauphin Island, which is just south of here. And he is a frequent visitor.
Whoa.
He is a great drummer.
He is a great drummer. That's true.
He's a good drummer.
He's just if you compare his solo output to the other 3, I mean, you know,
No,
back
I
off
can't remember what
Boogie
song
or
it
whatever.
was.
You're right.
There was a song I was listening to the other day on Beatles Sirius, and I feel terrible right now that I can't remember what it was, but it was, and one of y'all may know when I describe it, but it's a pretty, one of their mid-range hits that apparently Ringo wasn't in the studio that week, wasn't available to record. So Paul jumped on and played drums and sang. And if I hadn't known that I would not have been able to tell a difference in the percussive acumen between that one or any other song that they've ever recorded.
What jerks though that they would go into a recording studio when they knew that he couldn't play?
They do that all the time.
That was probably from the White Album.
Really?
They did
Yeah, there's
that a lot.
multiple
They did that a lot
tracks where
during
there's only
that
like
time.
3 of the 4. Yeah.
That's terrible.
There's a great YouTube video that Sean showed me where it has a bunch of drummers, modern day drummers, talking about Ringo, and it's pretty cool. Do you know what that is, Sean? Where that came from? It's when he was inducted.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like Max Weinberg and Dave Grohl and Paul's drummer. I can't remember his name. Paul McCartney's drummer. Handful of other guys. The guy from Green Day for some reason. And yeah, they're talking about their Ringo's influence, but like they're explaining in detail what made him a good drummer. And,
as they're drumming, like they're
as
showing
they're drumming,
how he does
right,
it or whatever.
on a Beatles drum kit. So it's I mean, it's a stripped down jazz kit, just like Ringo would have had it, and they're explaining as they're playing it. It's actually, yeah, I appreciated his ability much more just after that video.
It's
I'll say
convincing.
this. I'll admit this. I fully appreciate that, and like Ringo Starr, he's kind of serves as the Jim Belushi of the group, and I really enjoy living into that and sort of amplifying it even more. But I recognize he's incredibly talented. He's obviously a million times the drummer that I could ever even hope to be. I'm not even slightly close to that. So he's wonderful. He's remarkably talented. I like the idea of him being kind of the punching bag of
Yeah,
he also paints.
Yes.
One of my favorite parts of that video is I don't remember who does it, but they said, they said, imagine walking into the studio as a drummer and saying, I've got the perfect drum part for this song. And he goes to the floor tom and he goes, dun, 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 dun. And there's your drum part for Come Together. That's it. That's all. Yeah. It's anyway, I'll have to send you the video because I didn't do it justice. And I've got a 2-year-old who's about to take a picture off the wall.
She's redesigning.
She is.
It's all right. We can move on. We don't have to. I'm sure the Beatles will show up again, and we don't need to make this the Beatles podcast.
That's coming later.
We actually should do, I think, a song.
Yeah.
Please.
Specific. Yeah. Anyway.
Me.
Fun.
Michael, who do you think listen to over and over again?
Listen to over and over again. Tom Petty. I've found that I often will, if I'm just like randomly doing something and I want some music, I often just turn on Tom Petty on random. He was an amazing songwriter, like from beginning to end, and I think that's what's truly amazing about him. He certainly peaked at a certain time, but I don't think he ever lost his fastball when it came to songwriting. And so, yeah, Tom Petty is my go-to there.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Yeah. He's also the first, like Prince died before him, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Prince died, and I'm not a big Prince guy. So but I watched as like a lot of people were just really upset, and I was just like, okay, I mean, whatever, Purple Rain. But man, when Tom Petty died, like that hit me harder than I was expecting. And there's something about his music that when you listen to it post him being dead, there's something, I don't know, there's so much life in his music, and so it's both comforting and tough to listen to it after he's passed. But I love Tom Petty.
I think multiple concerts that I went to after he passed in that year, they did tributes to him in multiple genres as well, country and rock. And so to see the influence span across so many genres and generations, I am somewhat ashamed that I did not give him the appreciation and the time that I should have before he passed.
I think part of the response, like Prince was like in his early 50s, and Tom Petty was like 70, right?
Yeah, but like still, I was shocked when he died. Like I just was not, because remember, like there wasn't that happened in like the course of an afternoon, if I remember correctly. There was just suddenly like Tom Petty's been hospitalized, and then he was dead, and it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of came out of nowhere. So
I think we were all working together when that happened. I think were we all working?
We were. It happened
Yes.
on a Saturday. I remember because Sean you called an audible last minute for us to do something in worship. It happened very quickly, like Michael said.
Tom Petty was like one of the few bands that my parents are kind of strict about what music we could listen to, but Tom Petty was like one of the few that we could listen to everything, you know? And they actually really liked Tom Petty. And it was just, I don't know. I just remember like some of my best memories are like Tom Petty as the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Echo in the Canyon?
No, I need
on
to.
Netflix? Yeah,
I keep hearing about
it. Definitely watch it, please. It's quite moving to see him in it.
Sorry to bring everybody down.
So sad.
Yeah.
Well, just a heartbreaker.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Right.
John, what's the band you listen to?
You know what, Trey? You know what, Trey? Don't come around here no more. All right.
Jeez. Oh man. Yeah, band that I can listen to over and over again. Jason Isbell and really his 400 unit is
Alabama's own.
Yes, exactly
Jason
right. That's right. Yeah, I find myself. He was actually his concert. He was one of the ones that did a Tom Petty tribute that same year.
Yeah.
He did American Girl. Yeah, Michael was there. It was awesome.
American Girl.
Oh my gosh, I chills even just talking about it. But Jason Isbell is that guy. His songwriting and his ability as a guitarist is unbelievable. But his songwriting and the honesty and really the boldness. I mean, he's one of those kind of pioneers in a progressive country genre that you just don't see in Nashville. But him and Sturgill Simpson and
Amanda Shires.
I mean exactly, the Highwaymen. I was about to say the Highwaymen. Amanda Shires, his wife. Their lyrical ability, but also the way that they really are pushing the genre in a more progressive direction is awesome. But I can listen to him really anytime. His music has one of those really cool abilities to. I can listen to it and get something from the lyrics, and I can really kind of absorb it, and just enjoy it. But I can also dance to it. Crystal and I like to country dance, and yeah.
Have you ever listened to Drive By Truckers?
Yeah, a little bit. I need to dive in more because I've only listened to a handful of songs that he's done live. And then you've sent me a couple that I've listened to that are amazing, but yeah, no, I've not dove into his old Drive By Truckers stuff.
They're the same in terms of like that kind of pushing what country can be,
and they still are.
Yeah,
which is awesome. Yeah.
Okay, Stacy, band that made you fall in love with music.
The Pride of Canada. The whole country adores this phenomenal band.
I feel like you're doing a bit tonight.
Not doing a bit. I love Rush so much. The answer is Rush. And I was at a wedding last year, like the last thing that we ever did, not in quarantine. And the groom is Canadian, and his entire Canadian family got up and they were singing Rush. And I looked around and I was like the only American singing Closer to the Heart.
Is Bare Naked Ladies Canadian?
Yes.
I don't know.
Surely they're the Pride, right?
No, they are not. The Pride. You guys were talking about drummers. The best drummer is Neil Peart. Hands down, one of the best drummers in the whole world.
Neil Peart is one of the best drummers.
Yes.
Not the best.
I thought Alan Thicke was the Pride of Canada.
That's right.
That could also.
That's what I was trying to think.
That's what I thought.
Not alive. Oh, what about Alex Trebek? Is he Canadian?
He is
Alan-
Canadian.
No, he's dead too. So
All right.
Alan Thicke's dead?
Yeah.
Alan Thicke's been dead
For a while. I'm sorry.
R.I.P.
IP. It's been a few years.
The more you know.
We apologize to the Thick family.
And Canadians.
Did you know that Trebek was dead?
Don't call them the Thick family. And I did.
My cousin.
But there's
that people were like reaching out to her when Alex Trebek died because that was the only white man that she ever loved.
Okay.
That's so funny.
right now, the pride of Canada has to be Schitt's Creek.
Is that Canadian?
I need to watch that.
You actually would like
Yeah.
it. I didn't for a long time because I thought it was really stupid. Like that bit sounds really stupid to me, but it's very smart.
Very good.
But you didn't know they
I've
were
heard-
Canadian?
I've heard good things.
I haven't finished it yet though because I have a hard time.
Well, they don't have like a big reveal at the end. It's like, yeah, joke's on y'all. We're
But it
Canadian.
turns out they're Canadian. So
I didn't know that.
didn't know that.
But I have
Well, now I hate this whole series.
I've got like two.
Apologies again to our Canadian
Yes.
listeners.
Oh, it's Kyle. He was in the room. He's probably our only Canadian listener. Kyle and his family.
I have to admit something. I don't know, unless y'all can name, I don't know if I've ever heard Rush.
Surely
I've
you
heard
have.
of them, but I can't tell you a single song by
Tom
the
I'm
band.
Sawyer?
sure you've heard Tom Sawyer.
How are you
I-
a musician right now? I don't.
Well,
Trey, how are we even friends?
the intro to Rush 101 came the semester after I graduated college. So,
You should write an angry letter to your college. That is a disservice.
well, I have written several. So,
I'm sure you have. Did you send them though?
oh yes, Stacey. Tom Sawyer is a character in the book The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. So I have heard that one.
Agree to disagree.
I think you've heard the Limelight.
What do you mean agreed to disagree? I just said an unadulterated fact.
No. It's a Rush song.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so I love Rush very much. And I
There you go.
I don't know why I leaned in. I've never heard that song before.
Really? That shocks me. That
It
legitimately
doesn't sound
shocks
even
me.
vaguely familiar.
I am surprised.
the cool thing about Rush is they also like
The
Some of
cool
the-
thing about Rush.
The one cool thing about Rush.
this is like one of the two questions that I'm very passionate about. The writing, okay? Some of the songs are like sci-fi novels. The entire, like, is it the A side or the B side of 2112, the album? It's nothing but like a sci-fi novel set to music. It's so good. Michael, I feel like you should know this. It's so fantastic.
I'm not a Rush fan. I don't know.
Well, why?
The meandering and I like synths. I don't like meandering synths.
It's just the time period.
No, I love that time period. I'm not crazy about Tom Sawyer. And I do appreciate what Neil Peart had to offer.
He also
I'm
had
just not a big Rush guy.
a ton of drums at his disposal.
So
I mean, yeah, his set is ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about the two most opposite drummers you can possibly imagine is Ringo Starr and Neil Peart. And I mean, Neil Peart has, I have no idea how many drums he has. It's like 180 degrees, of drums. And Ringo Starr has 4 drums.
Yeah.
I mean, the contrast is ridiculous. And so, yeah, I'm not discounting him as a drummer. I'm just saying, like, as far as gear goes, the drums that he placed around him, it's kind of out of control.
we
It's kind of
went
ridiculous.
saw them. My parents. I think I was like maybe 18 or 19 at the Hollywood Bowl, and like the entire back of the stage was just drums. And the only thing they had on the stage that wasn't like their stuff was a washer and a dryer. I don't understand it. Maybe there's something that I just
never
don't
know.
get. Yeah, like I just don't get it. But it was like tumbling clothes. And then at the intermission, somebody came and switched them.
That's a pretty good bit, actually.
Like, no one acknowledged it. No one said a word about it. It just was there. I don't get it. Like maybe there's a song that I don't know that's like about doing laundry. Like I just truly have no idea. But they are the pride and joy of Canada and Canada's gift to the world.
Rush.
So did it make you fall in love with music or Canada?
No. My dad. Okay. So my dad actually would make us like stay in the car and listen to Rush.
That
Like-
sounds traumatic.
It does.
No.
Don't get out. The song's not over.
But really, we did it. And like we'd listen to the entire 2112 and he'd be like, get it? Do you get it? Because the guy is like on a different planet and they don't have music on the planet. And he finds a guitar in a cave and he has to go like tell the elders. Can you just listen to it? Somebody needs to listen to it.
I love Rush now.
I'll listen to Rush.
It's just
I
really
won't.
like you
Rush.
when he picks up the guitar, it's just like dink dink, like two little notes, and then he gets better and better and better throughout the song. It's just
You like narrative songs.
I do, you know what, I really do, and I think that's why I like folk music and the other kind that's not really folk music. I do like narrative songs, I really do, and that's why.
If you like narrative songs, you like folk music, the genre.
Yeah. Yes, I like folk
So
music, which is not Mumford and Sons. I know. It's just not.
Big Mumford fan.
Okay, you guys can. I think it's Trey's turn.
The band that made me fall in love with music is not a band; it's a musical artist. And the first time I ever heard him sing, I was raised engulfed in contemporary Christian music, and thought it had to be a certain way. And don't get me wrong, I love Michael W. Smith. I love Stephen Curtis Chapman. They're great. But most of their stuff is just sort of like 90s, 80s CCM bop type stuff. There's not a lot of like deep, like underlying meaning to it. It's like, this is the great adventure. Like they're just talking about the adventure of life. It's not, diving in. I'm literally diving in. I'm going deep. Like even in the music video, Stephen Curtis Chapman's diving into a pool. Like it's nothing special deep. But this guy, the first song I ever heard by him was a song, not the band, but a song called Creed. And it was the first time, even at a young age, I ever realized you can meld contemporary music with liturgy. And so now we live in this society where we have like Caedmon's Call, or not anymore, but we had Caedmon's Call, Derek Webb, Andrew Asenga, like even leading into like the Brilliance, Gungor, Audrey Assad now is really big, like this deep meaning of melding of good music and meaningful lyrics. But I think it all started with Rich Mullins. He was contemporary liturgy before the world knew what contemporary liturgy really was. And he laid a lot of that path. And I feel strongly, I don't want to put, he is, rest in peace. He tragically died in a car accident long before his time. So I don't want to box him into something, but I feel just so strongly that he would be at the forefront, if he were alive right now, of progressive Christianity. There's nothing in his lyrics that would suggest he wouldn't be. But anyway, it was the first time I realized that it didn't just have to be, I can't remember his last name, but Carmen, the Satan bites the dust. God bless
just
the
Carmen, yeah, just Carmen.
Yeah, but he has the last name, but his stage name is Carmen.
No, he doesn't.
No,
He's
God created him and said, "This is Carmen."
Right.
But it was the first time I realized it didn't just have to be that. Like there could be some substance and some depth to what there was. So, and as someone who now is in music ministry, that I don't even think I realized at the time how meaningful his music was to me for what I would later do, and sort of the intentionality of music and the purpose of the lyrics. But 100% hearing him, and I credit a lot of it to, I don't credit going to private Christian school a lot for anything because unless it's like ruining me in certain ways. But one thing I do credit is my elementary music teacher at one of the private Christian schools I went to was super into Rich Mullins and introduced me to him and found his music to be deeply meaningful and was very passionate about it. And I never would have known it if not for him. But Rich Mullins is 100% what made me really fall in love with music for the first time.
Good dude. Like he way ahead of his time in terms of probably the only one out of all like any kind of CCM people who would, I don't know if he ever like came right out and said like, hey, you should probably love gay people if you love Jesus. But that was very much like in his music.
Yeah.
And he and like nobody at that time was doing that. He was just very bold. Like he was a very bold dude who like truly like followed his faith. Where I mean, I think we all can see a lot of that stuff at that time. A lot of the CCM was following money more than anything else. I think that Rich Mullins truly like believed in what he was doing. So that's I like that answer. Yeah.
That's very like a very niche answer. Yeah, I think even most of our family and friends wouldn't necessarily pick up on who Rich Mullins is, but
didn't he die? Wasn't he on a motorcycle?
He was in a Jeep. So he was
I always thought it was a
driving in a Jeep.
motorcycle.
He got thrown out the window when the car crashed. Maybe it wasn't
when I heard.
That's a bummer.
I remember where I was when I heard.
You do?
Yeah. We heard we heard it. They announced it on KLTY. So,
where were you that you were listening to KLTY?
I was with a couple of friends in a truck, just driving to Glen Rose, Texas.
Okay, tell me more.
Because that was the closest Chicken Express.
Oh God.
That's lovely. I love that. I loved that answer. I loved everything about that answer.
Knew you would.
Yes, Trey.
He was thrown out of the Jeep and survived, but then a truck that was swerving to miss the Jeep hit him.
Oh.
That is terrible.
Yeah, I thought he died after he was thrown out. He was.
Oh my God.
All right. So
Rich Mullins maybe
that is a bummer.
Fall in love with music.
Oh man,
Michael, what former?
I did not know that.
This week's Bands of Your Life. Thank you for joining us.
Carmen. I can't pronounce his last name.
Carmen?
Yeah, I looked. I can't pronounce that.
We talked about him recently. He's a recurring person of interest in our conversation.
I know
it's Liz Yardello. I
texted y'all about it because he did something crazy and it was on Twitter, but I don't remember what.
No.
He did that. He did that song about Trump and like how you're not a Christian if you don't support Trump.
Oh.
According to his Wikipedia page, not only is a singer, songwriter, television host, and evangelist, but also a life coach.
I want to know what that is like.
Does he like take
Carmen is my life coach
when he's not touring?
Just don't accept any witch's invitation.
Okay, so I like narrative songs.
Oh, that's one. There you go.
Yeah, I remember going to Carmen concert and just being really into like how he did all that. Because
I think I've told y'all.
story.
I think I've told y'all this before, but so I grew up in church where Carmen was very popular, and they showed he's got a song, "We Need God in America."
Yeah.
We Need God in America again, and they played that video in worship, and everyone started clapping, and I stood up and gave it a standing ovation. And I swore I thought people would join in and no one else. And my friend was sitting next to me, like trying to pull me down. I was like, I'm an 8. I was like, hell no. Everyone's gonna stand up or they don't love Jesus.
You're Max Fisher and Rushmore. That's amazing.
The best part was really in hindsight, not even that, just the fact that I gave a standing ovation to a video being played. No one was there. It's one of the finer highlights of my life.
That's great.
He felt it.
Michael, what band did you fall in love with music with?
So I'm going to undercut your very thoughtful approach towards how CCM affected you. And there's a lot of bands, like Christian bands, that could go in here, but yeah, I grew up listening to Christian music, and so Michael W. Smith is in there, and DC Talk is in there. Jars of Clay are in there. I'm gonna have to go with Newsboys though. The Newsboys. Honestly, the Newsboys was the first, and I was like a little kid, but like the Newsboys was the first time where I think I learned what a hook was and became obsessed with, and I still honestly, like, if you go back and listen to a lot of that Newsboys stuff, there's a lot of very problematic theology, but man, there are some great hooks in their stuff. So Newsboys made me fall in love with music in terms of, I need more of this. I need more of stuff like this. That's it.
Is Michael Tate their lead singer now?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
I think so.
He was.
Kevin Max. So DC Talk was on my short list, 100%. They were probably number 2 behind Rich Mullins, and I'm still obsessed with them. Kevin Max is Audio Adrenaline. And now. Toby Mac is Toby. Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
Toby Mac is Toby Mac.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like it's Newsboys because it cannot possibly be Jars of Clay that
You're right.
Michael Tate is the lead singer for.
No. In fact, Jars of Clay, like, they grew out of a lot of that junk. And Dan Hazeltine particularly is a very cool dude who is very thoughtful and engaging with his Christianity.
Yes.
But what's interesting is, like, from what I do know is that in terms of Newsboys and Audio Adrenaline, both have no one in their group anymore that has any ties to, like, the past of that group. They're basically a marketing ploy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I find that ridiculous, but also, like, so CCM, you know?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
About any of them? About any of those groups?
No, that they weren't the original people.
No, there's no one in any of them that were the original people.
They've all been, like, cycled out.
The lead singer of Audio Adrenaline, like, shredded his vocal cords.
Yes.
He can't sing anymore.
It's kind of interesting to think, like, because back in the day it was DC Talk, Newsboys, Audio Adrenaline, and Jars of Clay. Those are like the big 4, I think, in terms of the CCM bands. And DC Talk's now ceased to exist, and 2 of the other 3 are the lead singers are former DC Talk members.
It's very incestuous.
And knowing about Kevin Max and Michael Tate, Newsboys, Michael Tate versus Audio Adrenaline, Kevin Max makes all of the sense in the world. Like, even going back to the 90s and their sound and their sort of like Like Michael Tate laid hands on Trump,
Yeah.
whereas Kevin Max said, like the hell with Trump.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We
But
should,
they all came from Liberty.
Yeah.
we should do one of these for Christian music. Wouldn't that be?
We should 100%
Yes.
do one for
Definitely.
90s Christian music specifically.
Oh, well, yeah.
All right, Sean.
Yeah,
And that
band
made you fall in love with music.
band that made me fall in love with music was Paul McCartney, specifically, because Paul McCartney was my first concert with my parents in 1993, I think. Yeah, I was 11 years old, and we saw Paul McCartney, and then just growing up, my favorite album to listen to as a kid was his live album, Tripping the Live Fantastic. And so I think, it's almost all Beatles music, so you can say Beatles, but Paul McCartney specifically was the band. He and his band was what made me fall in love with music. You know what's weird? So he had a guy play with him in this concert in 1993. I can't remember his name.
John
Lennon. No, it's.
Oh, you said
No,
93. You said
no,
93.
93. Definitely not
Uncomfortable.
I saw this guy play with him. Oh shoot.
Why not? Definitely.
I saw this guy play with Paul McCartney in 1993, and then I saw John Mayer in concert, like 2009 or 10 or something, and that same guy played with John Mayer. Different, anyway, sorry. I don't know. It was weird. I can't remember the guy's name though. Robbie McIntosh. Robbie McIntosh was this guy that played guitar for Paul McCartney in 1993, and then played like acoustic for John Mayer in like 2010. It's just anyway.
I now want to know more about Robbie McIntosh because he's played
Yeah.
guitar for two incredible guitar players. Clearly he's very good at what he does.
Yeah, he's a British guy. He was a member of the Pretenders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize that until I started looking at pictures from that concert in 1993. And
Is he blonde or brown headed?
Well, he's gray hair right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Age.
because he's old.
Because he gets old.
Michael, were you
Yeah.
thinking of the long-headed blonde guy?
What?
Never mind.
Long headed?
There's a long-haired.
It's like,
There's this
This guy-
long-haired blonde
it's
guy.
like a really long head.
He's got a super long head.
Cup holder.
Guy's a super long head.
So now I need to look up Robbie McIntosh, Rush, and Old South. You didn't got it.
Dead south.
Deep,
Up
dead
his
south.
face.
Deep south. Hey, thanks for listening and or watching, depending on how you were taking that in. We would love to hear from you if you want to email us at kellerbearhasapodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your answers to these topics that we were talking about. We would love to hear how right we were. We would also love to hear how wrong we were. Let us know. At the same time, we'd love to hear suggestions for future topics that we could do, things like that. I hope you had fun. We already are having fun doing this, so we'll see where it goes. Until then, bye.
Can we pause?
Yes.
Yeah, I need a beer.
Yeah, I need to pee.
I just realized, remembered I'm wearing my AirPods so y'all can hear everything I'm doing. So if I go to the restroom, I need to make sure to mute that. None of you there.